Hi everyone! Ano kung live na to? Andali lang. Hi everyone! Maayong gabi! It's Justine Felizarta, your Bb.Pilipinas 17 from Davao del Sur. Wait lang muna tayo. I'm still getting the hang of this Facebook Live situation, so bear with me. I hope everyone is having a good evening right now, and thank you for tuning in. Let me see. How do I know? Hi guys, good evening. Maayong gabi. I just want to introduce myself again. I am Justine Felizarta, Justine Felizarta, your Bb.Pilipinas 17 from Padada, Davao del Sur. And thank you to Entertainment News Portal and Arvin for inviting me here to their platform to connect with you guys, to talk to you about how I'm coping with the current situation and some activities that maybe I can suggest for everyone out there as well. But thank you for allowing me to get on here. We are going to be talking about a couple of things throughout this whole session. And if you do have any questions or concerns, comments, anything you want to say, feel free to put it on the comment section below, and I will definitely try to address all of them throughout the whole program. Program talaga. So before we get started, hi Ian, how are you? I hope you're having a good evening. Thank you for tuning in. But before we get started, as I was saying, let me just tell you a little bit about myself. So as you know, I am your Bb.Pilipinas 17. But before I became a Binibini, I was a licensed medical esthetician in Vancouver, BC. And it is my profession, my passion, my love. And I have been doing that for about 2 years, where I worked at a medical aesthetics lab before moving back to the Philippines. So my family actually migrated to Canada when I was younger. And I pretty much spent my whole childhood in Padada, Davao del Sur, which is why I'm representing the province. And my mom is from there, and my lola still has a hardware there, so we usually go there as our first stop. But I wanted to go back to the Philippines, of course, because as some of you may know, I did join the first time in 2015, and it was a wonderful experience, first time ever doing a pageant, and being that it's the most prestigious pageant in the Philippines, it was very exciting, a bit overwhelming, but a lot of lessons learned. And this time around, I wanted to give it a second try and to really promote my advocacy for overseas Filipino workers more. But yeah, that's pretty much me in a quick minute. Hi, Alexa and Acolardo. Hope I said that right. Good evening. Hi, Melvin. Maayong gabi to North Cotabato. I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe at home. I know it's quite long and we're all coping differently, but I know we have to stay connected with one another, which is good that we have social media, we have video call to keep ourselves entertained, so don't forget to check in with your loved ones. But right now, I am in Quezon City. I am alone at the moment. My family is still in Canada, but we do stay connected through video chats. I try to talk to them every day, but with the time difference, it's quite difficult, but we make the most of it. And then I, of course, check in with my loved ones in the Philippines as well, and friends that are also here. But I just wanted to remind you to really try and stay home as much as you can. I know that it's it's not ideal what we're doing right now because we're not used to it. We didn't plan for this. However, by you staying home, it means that we're saving lives and we're keeping the health systems from being overwhelmed. So by what we're doing, we're actually doing a big part by doing this. So keep up the good job and, just follow the protocols, the guidelines. You've probably heard it so many times with wearing a mask when you leave your house. Sometimes I know that a lot of the masks that are disposable, they're not available anymore, so a lot of them are cloth. So make sure you're washing those every night and then putting tissue on them. Always washing your hands, 20 seconds, or 2 happy birthday songs from what they recommend. Bring sanitizer with you. That's what I usually do when I leave the house. And don't forget to also wipe your phones because we're constantly using them and we're touching things and we touch our phones. So you want to make sure that you're also disinfecting them and all your gadgets with some alcohol. And of course, practice social distancing. So when you leave your house for grocery, things like that, just make sure that you're practicing safe distancing so that you're keeping yourself and others around you safe as well. And all these things may be really simple things, but they're very important to follow and abide by. But everyone's been doing a pretty good job, so I'm really happy about that. And let's see, hello. But usually right now, what I'm doing to keep myself busy and occupied is I try to have a routine every day, just because it kind of wakes me up and it helps me to be a bit more productive throughout the day because, of course, I'm not used to the situation as most people aren't. But I start off in the morning, of course, meditating, praying, just to kind of set my intentions for the day and really try to keep my mind calm and still with everything around. Have my coffee, maybe I'll read a little bit of a book, and then I will usually video call my family because when it's morning here, it's going to be evening in Canada. So I usually take the time just to do that. And then, of course, it's important that you guys get a workout in. It doesn't have to be a long hour. I know some people think to work out it has to be long, it has to be rigorous, but quick 20 minutes, 30 minutes is good enough. There's so many platforms out there where you can follow. YouTube, you can even do TikTok, anything that gets you sweating I think is good for the body because a strong immune system and a healthy body is what's fighting the pandemic right now. And so try to do that. I try to do that maybe every other day, 20 minutes at least to just keep my body used to moving. And then I also try to read, so if you have any recommendations, do let me know, because I always want to try reading new books, cookbooks maybe if I want to start cooking. But it's also okay not to be productive on certain days. I know that sometimes we feel a little bit restless and we just want to kind of lay there, sit around, and do nothing, and that's okay too. You know, whatever works for your well being and your mental health, that's what we really have to look out after, you know. Um, but try to make that conscious effort of keeping yourself more productive and staying connected with your loved ones. Of course, keep up with the news, social media, things like that, but there's also such thing as too much. So don't try to overwhelm yourself too much with the news, because I know it can get overbearing. Um, but do spread positive news every now and then, just so that people are motivated and that you're also spreading good vibes. So yeah. And what else? Oh, and we're also doing a donation drive with Bb.Pilipinas called #Together We Heal. And it's been going on for quite a while now, so I do encourage everyone to please spread the word of our donation drive, and if you have the means to do so, it would be amazing if you guys can donate. But basically what this donation drive is geared towards is for the indigent families in Metro Manila, those who are having hard access to getting basic supplies, or they need more basic supplies in those communities. So we're trying to raise money so that we can help feed more families in Metro Manila during these uncertain times. And I know that there's a lot of binibinis that have the links on their bios or on their pages. So if you have any questions regarding it, do let us know, so that we can answer all of them as well. But thank you to everyone who's donated so far and making that effort to spread the word around as well. We really, really, really appreciate it. But as of now, we don't have any updates for Bb.Pilipinas other than the activity that we just did, I think 2 weeks ago with Zoom. We did a Zoom live chat with everybody, which was fun because that was actually the first time that I saw my sisters, the candidates, for quite a while. So everyone is kind of all over Philippines, wherever their homes may be. So it was nice catching up with them and just keeping it very lighthearted to see what they're doing to stay positive as well, and who they're with and what's keeping them busy, which is nice. But I hope to do more of those, and I think we will be, just depending on the situation that we're in and how long it's going to be. But keep your questions coming if you have any. Alexa Feely asks, when is the right time to listen and when is the right time to speak? It depends on the situation, you know. Listening is actually something that's very tasking for some people because, of course, you know, our minds, we always have different things that we think about. But I think when you are genuinely listening to someone, it actually means a lot to that person, because not a lot of time take to do that. But when you're speaking, also make sure that you are benefiting the other person or yourself when you are saying facts, and making sure you're not spreading news that are not pretty much fake news. Do not spread it, but always do a little bit of a balance. So always listen. If someone else is talking to you and showing them their concerns, then make sure you do attentively listen to them before you speak. And then, as opposed to speaking, of course, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, so don't be afraid to speak up in your opinions, but do know where your boundaries are, because you never know what that person is going through, or other people who get affected as well. So it's just all about balance and kind of weighing out the situation of what they're talking about. And yeah. Let's see. Hi Ralph, how are you? Hi Ian. Hi, kumusta? Maayong gabi din. I hope everyone is staying well and safe at home. Shout out to Bislig City, Sargao del Sur. Hi! Maayong gabi. JC Tiamzen. Hello, good evening. If you will be given a chance to win one of the crowns, what would it be and why? Of course, any crown is a privilege to have because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, and representing the Philippines has always been a dream of mine. But if given the chance, I would definitely want to win Miss Grand International because we've never had a winner from that pageant yet, and it would be such an honor to be the first Filipina candidate to bring home a Miss Grand International crown. So that's definitely something that I am eyeing, and I also look up to Nicole Cordova's, Elizabeth Clenzy, Samantha Lowe, the ones who have competed for Miss Grand, and they're big inspirations to me, so I hope to follow them in their footsteps. Arvin, hello! Who are your Binibini besties? Ooh, that's hard because when we spend a lot of time together, we create a bond with each other, and we all just have different things that we share, which is nice. But I would like to say Maureen. Me and Maureen talk a lot, and just because she's also from abroad, so sometimes we talk about our families in the States or in Canada, which is nice as well. Hi, Charles. Good evening. Yes, thank you, Entertainment News Portal, for sharing more information about our Together We Heal donation drive. Hi, Daniel. As much as I want to say yes, I think that question meant, can I understand or speak Bisaya? Kabalo paka mag-Bisaya. My mom speaks very fluent Bisaya. I go as far as Maayong Gabi and the greetings in the morning and the afternoon. I do want to learn, so if you have any words or phrases that you want to teach me, feel free to do so. I would love to learn more Bisaya. But I can understand a little bit when my parents or my mom is speaking to her siblings, but fluently, not yet. But because we're in lockdown, maybe it's a language that I can really immerse in and be better at it. Hi, Nico. How do you promote our province of Davao del Sur to the world? From Digos. Hi, Digos. Well, Davao del Sur is where I grew up, my childhood, because my mom is from there, as I was saying before. And every time I go to Davao del Sur, there's just a sense of calmness and community there as well. So I think one of the biggest things I would like to tell the world about Davao del Sur is that we have such an amazing community that bonds and really knows one another. It just makes you feel more at home. Of course, we're so abundant in fruits, so every time you go there, you're eating non-stop fruits, durian, mangosteen, chico, and everything just feels at home, which is nice. So I think that's one thing that people really appreciate when they go back to the Philippines, because people are so hospitable, and the amount of food and tradition and values that we have in our culture is great. Melvin, I'm not in Davao right now. I am actually in Quezon City. I did want to go to Davao earlier on, but of course I wanted to think about it and make sure I'm doing the right thing. But when the lockdown happened, I just decided that it would be safer that I stay here. But I do check up on them. My Lola is there right now, and my aunts and uncles are also there with all my cousins. So we try to keep in touch over the phone or over video calls as well, which is amazing. So the gift of technology, guys. It's definitely a different time now. But yes, how are you guys doing? I hope you guys are keeping busy or trying to stay sane in light of all of this. It's a different time, it's hard to kind of wrap your head around what's going on. But I always just try to remind myself that we're all going through it and that we're not alone, because sometimes, you know, it feels so surreal that this is happening in our generation, in our time. But again, this has happened before, and we were able to get through it by collectively working together and following the guidelines. Staying home, things like that is such a big deal that will, when you put it together, will make a massive difference. So usually if I'm having doubts and uncertainty with things like this, I just hope for the best and just try to stay positive and stay connected with the people around me as well. Hi Maria, Maria Jimenez, thank you so much. Yes, my 2015 days, thank you for following me since then. Um, I hope you're having a wonderful evening, and I appreciate your support, and please continue to support me throughout my whole journey, and I promise I will do my very best. Life in South Central, hello, can you share us your experience in Miss Universe Canada? Yes, so I actually joined Miss Universe Canada in 2017, so just 2 years after I did Binibini, and it was a different experience from Binibini, of course, in many ways, just because, you know, in Canada there's a lot more different cultures that we had to immerse in as well. But with Binibini, coming from Binibini, I felt like I was more prepared going into Miss Universe Canada, which helped me tremendously. But the girls are amazing in Miss Universe Canada. We did train, so basically for Miss Universe Canada, there's different provinces that comes together, and then in that 1 week where we all go to Toronto, that's where we meet. So the whole competition would be going on for at least 3 months. However, they would be having their own competitions in their province, and then when the final candidates are selected from those provinces, then we all go to Toronto to meet. So that's where I met all 60 candidates for Miss Universe Canada, and it was quite quick because it was only a week of activities, but most of the time we were doing training for the press presentation and the finals night. And then we did some sponsor visits like we do in Bb.Pilipinas. But with Miss Universe Canada, one of the things that I will never forget is the fact that we were given the chance to create our own charity. So for that year, I decided to raise funds for Operation Smile Nicaragua. And it was quite challenging, but it was a challenge that was worth it when it was all done after, because I decided to hold a 2-day concert for Operation Smile to raise money for them. And so basically for about 3 weeks we had the means and the chance to prep for it. So I decided to do a concert, and then for 2 days we were able to raise almost $4,000 for them. So it was amazing because it's an experience that you don't get. Usually you just kind of combine with a charity, but this one you have to raise it and find a way to actually have your own event, which was nice. And so everyone was able to do that. So all 60 candidates were able to raise money for their own charities that they wanted. And we also had a lot of Q&A events or public speaking events where we went to different schools to talk about self-esteem, to talk about leadership, and mostly to young women as well, which was very empowering because that was the first time I was able to do that. And it's nice when you get to talk to girls who are also inspiring to be beauty queens or leaders in their own communities. Thank you, Nico. Hi, Pax. Tips on how to have amazing skin. Well, it wasn't always like this, let me tell you. It was actually a long process, believe it or not. You know, the sole reason why I got into medical aesthetics was because I actually had acne when I was younger, and it was probably one of those terrifying experiences ever because I didn't know what my body was going through. I didn't know why my skin was reacting that way. And then so I started to research more and more about home remedies, different skincare products, treatments, things that I can do to eliminate or at least lessen what I was going through. And you know, when you're growing up, it's half of it is just hormones. Your body's just changing, so you kind of have to accept it and do as much as you can. But for me, I think what works the best is having a good and healthy lifestyle. So making sure you're getting enough amount of sleep, drinking a lot of water really helps, because I didn't used to drink this much water, at least 8 glasses, but once I started to develop that into my routine, my skin started flushing out toxins and it was getting clearer and clearer by the week. Eating fruits, veggies, eating healthier things, because whatever you put inside your body, it comes out, trust me. It makes a big difference. Even though sometimes you want to eat that pizza or that burger, the next day I will probably have a pimple somewhere, and although I don't regret it because, you know, I love food, it definitely makes a big difference if you're eating very healthy. But also know your skin type. So if you want to get started with a skincare routine, then I think, you know, you should consult first, or you don't even have to consult first, just kind of know what your skin type is. So whether it's oily, dry, dehydrated, or mature, figure it out what your skin type is and then go from there. And then start with just basic products, cleanser, moisturizer, sunscreen for sure. And then the older you get, the more you can incorporate more and more of these medical grade products, depending on what your skin ailment or skin issue is as well. But don't go to sleep with makeup on. Drink lots of water, eat properly, and try not to overdo it as well, because you don't want to strip away all your skin. But those are some tips that I can give you. That's how I was able to change my skin 360. And a lot of people don't believe that I had acne before, but it was a very big challenge for me. But those are the things I started off with. And then when I started getting into school for medical aesthetics and working, then that's when I started to really put in more medical grade treatments, things like that. My inspiration of my look tonight. I wanted to go for the more everyday look. I think I kind of achieved it. I'm not sure. My hair is naturally straight, so I actually don't do anything to my hair. It's actually kind of frizzy right now. But I just towel dry it, and I'm actually so happy that I don't have to blow dry or straighten it right now because it's growing out pretty well. But for my makeup right now, I tried to keep it fresh and light. So this is my definition of fresh and light, guys. But I do go out without makeup most of the time. Sometimes I'll just do lip balm, concealer if I look really, really tired, and my eyebrows, but pretty much that's it. How tall am I? I am 5'8". Pretty tall for an Asian. That's what a lot of people tell me. And growing up in Canada, I was actually one of the taller girls, or maybe there was a point in my elementary days where I was the tallest girl, and I was so embarrassed because all the boys were making fun of me for being so tall, and I dreaded wearing heels, and I always slouched. And then I got into high school and everyone just started growing way taller than me, and then I automatically wished I was taller, and I started wearing heels when I got into modeling. So it was all pretty funny with my experiences of having this height. But I'm very blessed and I'm very happy. So thank you to my parents. Your thoughts of using wipes versus the cleansing oil in removing makeup. It depends on the products. With wipes, I don't want to say it's bad because, you know, there are some benefits to a wipes. I would only use wipes if I am lazy and I really just want to go to bed right away and I have to make sure to remove my makeup. So those are where I use wipes. Or if I'm traveling and I'm on a plane, or I just feel like I came from an activity where my face was just like impounded with dirt, then I would use the wipes, but I wouldn't resort to wipes only as an everyday product to use. I would still opt out for cleansing oil and then a cleanser. But if you do have oily skin like me, as you can tell, I would probably do makeup remover first with cleansing oil. I use the Garnier at the moment, and then I would still follow it with a cleanser because you don't want to have any oil residue on your face and then end up breaking out. And then after that, you can do a toner depending if you have acne prone skin or dry skin. And then moisturizer, because you never want to let your skin get dry. Just because a lot of people think who have oily skin, if they moisturize, then it's going to be too oily. But the only reason why your skin is actually getting more oily is because your skin is so thirsty. It's trying to compensate for the dryness and dehydration of your skin. So if you balance it with moisturizer and the oil, then it starts to calm down. So you definitely want to moisturize, and don't forget that step. Trust me, I thought having oily skin was a blessing, which it is, but don't just get complacent and think, you know, the oil will compensate for all the moisture. Hi, Kurt. Catriona is one of my idols, so how are you over there? I'm doing great. Thank you for asking, Melvin. Again, staying positive, hopeful throughout all the situation, and staying connected with everyone as much as I can. In an interview, Bello said that using moisturizer is useless. Your thoughts on this? Ooh, Bella was actually one of my inspirations in the skin business. I have watched her, I have read all of her advice on how to take care of skin, but everyone has a different preference. I don't think she meant that it's useless, so don't use it, because I know she still has moisturizers in her line. It just depends on what moisturizer. So she did talk about the 3 different kinds of moisturizers, just depending on your skin. So emollients, meaning that it's a lot more thicker, or using things that are gel-like, hyaluronic acid. So those things could be considered as moisturizers, just different type of depths. Where did I grow up? I was born here in the Philippines, and again, I grew up mostly in Davao del Sur. And when I was 6 years old, my family decided to move to Vancouver, Canada. So I was quite young when we switched countries, when we migrated to Canada, which was exciting. It's of course a different country, different lifestyle, but being able to live the best of both worlds really taught me a lot, and I am who I am because of those experiences. So I'm very thankful that my parents, you know, did what they did, and they worked really hard to work abroad, to give us the life that we have now, and to also be able to study abroad. So thanks, Mom and Dad. I love all these questions. Thank you, guys. Your message to all the frontliners. Well, I would just like to say maraming salamat for all of your hard work, for all the effort that you do. I know that it's such a hard time for you right now because you're overwhelmed, but I just wanted to say thank you, because you are definitely saving a lot of lives out there. And I know some friends, and even my own mom, she's working as a frontliner. You know, she's trying to stay hopeful and positive for everyone that she comes across. But I just wanted to applaud you for really risking your lives for the betterment of our country, and of course wherever you are in the world. And we are right behind you. We will do our very best to do our part so that we don't overwhelm the health system. And everyone who's working at the grocery stores or doing public service, thank you so much, because you are allowing us to be able to stay home and while you do your service. So I'm very, very grateful for all that. So everyone, please stay home and do their part so that, you know, we can all get through this together. Your fondest, my hair is so staticky. Hi, Ramel. Thank you so much. Your fondest memories of Pia Wurtzbach and Kylie Versosa during 2015? Oh my God, I don't even know where to start. They're such nice people, and you know, being able to compete alongside them is such an honor, because you know, they have made the Philippines proud in their international pageant, and they're still doing such an amazing job at using their platform right now. So I definitely learned a lot from them and their experience, and I still look up to them. Let's see. And it's just nice knowing where, you know, what their background is in pageants and knowing how they got there is very humbling as well. Very nice people, and you know, they make very good advisors and friends as well. What are you probably doing if not for Binibini right now? Well, as I told you before, I am a licensed medical esthetician. So if I was in Binibini, I was working as a licensed medical esthetician in Vancouver, and I was very fortunate enough to have worked in one of the best clinics in the city. So I was able to learn a lot, treating patients, doing lasers, microneedling, consultations, things like that. So I was able to do that for about 2 years before I did Binibini, but I do want to continue it for sure after as well. Maybe have my own clinic one day. But I enjoy the industry. I enjoy learning a lot about it. It's a very growing industry, so it never stops changing, which is what makes it so exciting. And I feel like everyone can really benefit from it, or they always have something they want to know about skin and beauty as well. What is your message of hope for OFWs? Hello to all the OFWs out there. I say kapit lang po. I know that this is not an easy situation for all of us, given that, you know, some of you may also be away from your family, but I do understand what you're feeling at the moment, feeling of isolation, feeling like you really want to, you know, be back with your family, your kids back home, but just know that, you know, this is just temporary, being away from your loved ones. We will get through this together, and we will always try to check up on you, so stay strong in wherever you are, whatever situation you may be in, because there's always light at the end of the tunnel, so don't lose hope. We're all in this together, and I'm so grateful for the fact that we can use technology to connect with one another as well. Good to hear that you're close with Eliza. Yes, she's actually one of my closest friends. Ever since 2015, we remained very, so even after the pageant, we would visit each other. So when she was in LA for some time, I was able to see her there as well and catch up and reunite. So it's nice. So it's me, Eliza, and Anne usually that are the closest right now. We call ourselves the Kinders. But we started from 2015 and now we're here. Oh, that I like. Yes. Have you used the Ordinary products? If yes, what products have you used? I have heard a lot about the Ordinary because it's quite popular pretty much everywhere. The only product that I actually was able to use from them is their primer. So it's not technically just a skin product, but I used their mattifying primer. And I did get a sample of their vitamin C serum, which works in areas where I have hyperpigmentation. But with vitamin C, my skin is quite sensitive, so there's days where I would feel a little bit more sensitive towards the type of product, so I try not to use it too often. But a lot of people do suggest Ordinary, and a lot of my clients who I've talked to in the clinic uses the Ordinary as well and raves about their products. Hi Ryan! If you were to win one of the crowns, how are you going to use your title and crown to represent the Filipino on the international stage? So if I was obviously to win one of the crowns and have that honor to represent the Philippines abroad, of course, as a Binibini, I want to set an example for everyone out there to show them what a resilient and hopeful country Philippines is. You know, especially at this time, we have that bayanihan attitude, which is what I really want to show to the world, because it's something that you don't come across very often. And you know, coming from Canada, I really feel the sense of bayanihan here in the Philippines, not just through like all the donation drives that we're doing right now, but even in our everyday situation, we try to help one another out. We try to come together. We try to stay connected in everything that we do, and that's something that I really want to show people on an international stage. How old am I? I am 26. I just turned 26 in February. But age is just a number, Thank you for all these questions. I'm loving the same questions. You really know you love something when you can talk about it on and on and on. The mom is actually, she worked at the pharmacy, or they had a pharmacy here in the Philippines, and they sold skincare products. So that's also where I kind of got a sense of what skincare really is, because she would always be talk to her client how to treat their skin, and I was always around them. So I think that's where it developed and started. Thoughts of using physical scrub versus chemical exfoliation. I use both because, again, you don't want to overdo the things that you're doing to your face and the products that you're using, because our skin still needs to retain moisture. Usually what I do for my personal routine is I use a physical scrub twice a week, twice or 3 times a week, depending on the product and how aggressive that product is, so the one with beads. But you still need to get rid of the dead skin cells. So for me, it's easier to control because you can press it in the skin. As opposed to chemical exfoliant, it is quite harsh because it does contain salicylic and glycolic acid. So if you do it too often, you could possibly burn your face if you're not careful and if you're not aware of how much percent you're putting on your face. So usually chemical exfoliants I use once or twice a week depending on the grade. But also living in the Philippines makes it quite difficult because we're under the sun a lot, and if you don't wear sunscreen, yes, it might look good for the first 2 weeks because you're stripping off all that dead skin, pulling out new skin. But if you're not careful with maintaining it, then what can happen is you can actually get a reverse reaction and get hyperpigmentation because you're not protecting your skin enough. I hope that helps. But how are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing okay, and if you have any recommendations as to what activities that you're doing that what I can do, then let me know as well. I'm always trying to think of new things to keep myself occupied and sane at home. Mm, how do I prepare for Bb.Pilipinas while in quarantine? Through social media, through technology that we have right now. Of course, right now it's very limited as to what we do, because before you can always do you have pastorela training, you have Q&A training, so there's different places where you can go for this, or even go to the gym, things like that. But right now, because of course we're trying to stay responsible and staying home, I'm trying to really use the gift of technology to stay updated, to read about the news, to know how we can stay more connected. And I think right now I'm more focusing on how we can help our communities out, whether it's our donation drive or just kind of spreading the word of others' initiatives. Like I have friends who are also starting donation drives that I want to help spread out, or things that we can do just to help lighten the situation is what I'm really focusing on right now, and trying to stay positive and share what I know to others as well. But other than that, I try to work out at home, again, 20 minutes, just to kind of keep my physical and mental health in check. And then reading also really helps. And then every now and then, just in my hallway here, I'll maybe do like a little bit of a pastorela walk. How are you using this time to prepare for the pageant? So again, we are we have a lot of time at the moment, which is something that I'm grateful for. But right now I'm trying to focus on trying to spread awareness on and positivity to others, sharing our donation drive initiatives on different things that we can help out with the community, but also trying to read as much as I can, because it's a very, there's certain things that I want to learn more about so that I can share it with people in regards to how we can cope with the situation, how we can prevent from spreading the virus even more, and also staying connected with loved ones as well is something that I'm trying to do at the moment. But when I do have time, I try to connect with my mentors, and we do a little bit of a Q&A session online, have a little chica session just like this actually, just so that we can clarify some questions and how we can go about certain topics as well. So those are things. And then sometimes I'll do a dance tutorial, or I'll learn a dance tutorial from my dance teacher as well. And I'm also trying to eat better. It's something that I'm not used to. I don't really cook. So for me, I'm trying to find new recipes. I'm trying to also find ways on how I can eat healthier, especially at these times, because right now I feel like I'm eating 6-7 times a day, just like munching on things. So I'm trying to limit that and watch what I eat. But if you guys have any good recipes or things that I should be trying, let me know, but I hope it's easy. Thank you guys for the questions. I'm really grateful that you guys have tuned in and spent a little bit of time with me today. And if you guys have any other questions that you may have at this live, do let me know. I'd love to address them as well. What is your favorite R&B song? Sample, please. R&B song. R&B is my jam. I grew up with I grew up really loving Alicia Keys, Mariah Carey, of course, Whitney Houston. What's an R&B song that I really love? It's a duet though, so I don't know if you want to duet with me. It's called My Boo. My Boo by Alicia Keys is one that I always listen to because of the duet. But a song that that's more stuck in my head is Hero by Mariah Carey. There's a hero. If you look inside your heart, you don't have to be afraid of what you are. There's an answer when you reach into your soul, and the sorrow that you know will melt away. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you finally see the truth that a hero lies in you. Thank you. I really like the message of the song, and I think especially at this time, it's saying that there's a hero in you. This is all for all the frontliners out there. My friend JV actually sent me that song at this time, and I was very inspired by it. So it's a song that I keep playing over and over again. What has this quarantine taught you? Hi, Ruby. Thank you for the question. This quarantine, again, these are uncertain times, and there was actually a lot of things that I was able to learn from this, and I'm still learning from this. One being to be grateful You know, there are so many times where life just passes by because we're always on the go, and then because we're on a pause at the moment, it makes you realize that the simple things are things that you should be grateful for. So be grateful for staying connected with your family, being able to, you know, check up on them, and then just being able to stay home is a privilege. You know, there's still our frontliners out there who are working really hard so that we can get through this together. But also staying connected has been saving so many more lives than we have ever imagined. And I really to encourage everyone to always check up on their loved ones, to stay connected, not just on social media, on the news, but with people that they love, and to spread positivity in the news around us. Do you dance? I am not a dancer, but I do love to dance because it's fun and it helps me express myself. It's also a very good workout. And Leia, my dance teacher, we usually do dance lessons together, and she'll teach me how to express myself more and to go with the music, which is nice because I'm a big fan of music and I turn to it for everything that I do. But if you call TikTok dancing, then yes. What is your fondest memory in Padada, Davao del Sur? I love going back to the province. You know, there's nothing more calm and serene than having gone back to your hometown. And for me, it's always just being able to spend time with my family and loved ones and being away from technology so much, because when you're in Padada or the province, you have all this open air, you have all this nature to bask in, and then you have all these fruits where you can indulge in. Mangosteen, which is my favorite. Durian, I'm still getting the hang of. Chico, all those foods, and then just being able to spend it with my family. And everyone has such a sense of community in the province as well. So everyone, everywhere you go, you kind of just like know where they are or who they are, and it feels very homey as well. So it's definitely going back home, spending it with my family during any type of vacation, and just being able to enjoy nature. Thank you as well, Melvin, for tuning in. And thank you to everyone who has tuned in today to get to know me a little bit more, and also trying to stay positive and sharing some tips. Thank you for listening in. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. So thank you to Entertainment News Portal and Arvin for allowing me to be on here. Again, if you do have any questions or concerns for me, even after this, you can ask me on my Facebook, Justine Felizarta, or my Instagram, and I would love to address them, connect with you even more. And if there's things that you want to see me post more, let me know. I am still getting the hang of social media, so bear with me with all my posts. I'm trying to figure out things that I should be posting more, but do let me know if there's anything that you do want to see. So I'll be answering couple more questions, and then I will talk to you after. Tips on how to look good in photos. I think it comes down to just being confident, you know. No matter how much makeup you have or no matter how good your hair is, if you're not confident in yourself, it really shows in a photo. So whether you have a full face of makeup or no makeup at all, the confidence that you exude in that photo is how you look good. So confidence is key, guys. Thank you, Ruby. Thank you so much for your comments and your support always, of course. Okay, guys. Well, thank you again for listening in, and I hope you enjoyed this Chica session with me. I hope we can do it again, but thank you for staying home and doing your part. And again, we're all in this together. You're not alone, so don't lose hope. And if there's times of doubts and uncertainty, just turn and know that you don't always have to feel like you're doing something. Take care of your mental health. Check in with your loved ones. You know, don't take this time for granted. And just pray as well, because we will get through this. Thank you so much and have a good night. Maayong gabi sa lahat.